Welcome to Breaking Bulletin, your trusted source for in-depth historical explorations and current affairs. Today, we re-embarking on a fascinating journey through time to uncover the rich tapestry of pre-colonial Manila as early settlements. As we delve into the origins of this vibrant city before Spanish colonization, we'll highlight the indigenous Tagalog people and their thriving communities along the Pasig River, as well as explore the influence of neighboring kingdoms like the Srivijaya and Majapahit empires. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video, share it with fellow history enthusiasts, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating content. Let's dive into the story of pre-colonial Manila. The story of Manila begins long before the arrival of Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century. The earliest recorded history of organized society in the area dates back to 900 AD, as evidenced by the Laguna copperplate inscription. This remarkable artifact not only marks the beginning of written Philippine history, but also provides crucial insights into the sophisticated Tagalog polity known as Tondo. Tondo, situated on the northern bank of the Pasig River Delta, was a thriving settlement that played a significant role in the region's political and economic landscape. The Laguna copperplate inscription reveals a complex society with advanced systems of governance, commerce, and social organization. It documents legal transactions, including debt forgiveness practices between local rulers and their subjects, highlighting the intricate social structures that existed centuries before European contact. While Tondo flourished on the northern side of the Pasig River, another prominent settlement called Namayan or Sapa developed on the southern bank. Archaeological evidence suggests that Namayan thrived around the 10th or 11th century, forming part of a network of interconnected communities along the riverbanks. The Pasig River itself was the lifeblood of these early settlements, serving as a natural highway for trade and transportation. It connected the inland communities to nearby bodies of water such as Laguna de Bay and Manila Bay, facilitating commerce and cultural exchange. The river also provided sustenance through fishing and supported agriculture in the surrounding areas. The indigenous people who inhabited these settlements were known as the Tagalogs. The name Tagalog is derived from Tagalog, which translates to people from or by the river. This etymology underscores the deep connection between the Tagalog people and the Pasig River, which shaped their identity and way of life. Tagalog society was organized into barangays, small political units led by chieftains known as datus. These barangays, typically consisting of a few hundred individuals, formed the basic social and political structure of pre-colonial Manila. While each barangay functioned independently, they often formed alliances or engaged in conflicts with neighboring groups, creating a dynamic and complex political landscape. Within the barangay, a three-tiered social structure existed. At the top were the datu and his family, forming the nobility class. Below them were the freeholders, and at the bottom were the dependents, which included sharecroppers, debt peons, and war captives. It's important to note that this social system was not rigid, and there was considerable social mobility through intermarriage and manumission. The economy of pre-colonial Manila was diverse and sophisticated. Agriculture formed the backbone, with rice cultivation being particularly important. The fertile lands along the Pasig River and its tributaries provided ideal conditions for farming, supporting the growing population of the settlements. Fishing was another crucial economic activity, given Manila's proximity to the sea and the abundance of fish in the Pasig River. Metallurgy was highly developed in pre-colonial Manila. Skilled goldsmiths and other metal workers created intricate jewelry and ornaments, which were prized possessions of the nobility and served as important trade goods. The craftsmanship of these artisans is evidenced by the numerous gold artifacts discovered by archaeologists. Textile production was another significant industry. The people of Manila were skilled weavers, producing fine fabrics from cotton and abaca fibers. These textiles were highly valued and often traded with other regions. Trade was perhaps the most defining aspect of pre-colonial Manila's economy. The city's strategic location at the mouth of the Pasig River made it an ideal trading port. Local products such as gold, beeswax, and textiles were exchanged for goods from China, Japan, and other parts of Southeast Asia. Chinese porcelain, silk, and other luxury items were particularly sought after. The trading activities of pre-colonial Manila were not limited to goods. Ideas, technologies, and cultural practices were also exchanged, contributing to the cosmopolitan nature of the settlement. This vibrant trade network laid the foundation for Manila's future role as a major international port. Religion played a crucial role in the life of pre-colonial Manila. Before the arrival of Islam in the 13th century, the people practiced a form of animism, believing in the existence of spirits in nature. They worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses, with Bathala being the supreme deity. Ancestor worship was also an important aspect of their religious practices. The introduction of Islam in the 13th century brought significant changes to the religious landscape of Manila. The ruling class, in particular, embraced Islam as evidenced by the establishment of the Muslim Principality of Manila. However, it's important to note that the adoption of Islam did not completely erase the earlier animistic beliefs. Instead, a syncretic form of Islam developed, incorporating elements of the pre-existing belief system. The religious practices of pre-colonial Manila were closely tied to the natural world. Rituals and ceremonies were often associated with agricultural cycles, reflecting the importance of farming in their society. Shamans or Babaylans played a crucial role in these religious practices, serving as intermediaries between the human world and the spirit world. Education in pre-colonial Manila was primarily informal and practical. Knowledge and skills were passed down from one generation to the next through oral traditions and hands-on learning. Children learned by observing and assisting their elders in daily tasks. This system of education ensured the preservation and continuation of cultural practices and practical skills. However, it would be a mistake to assume that formal education was entirely absent. The use of writing systems like the Baybayin script suggests that there was some form of formal instruction in literacy. The existence of complex legal and economic systems, as evidenced by the Laguna copperplate inscription, also points to a level of specialized knowledge that would have required formal training. The arts flourished in pre-colonial Manila. Music and dance were integral parts of religious ceremonies and social gatherings. Traditional instruments like the Kadyapi boat lute and the Kulintang, a set of gongs, were used to create complex musical compositions. Visual arts were equally important. Tattoos, for instance, were not merely decorative but served as symbols of social status and personal achievements. The intricate designs of jewelry and other ornaments showcase the artistic sensibilities of the people. Literature, though primarily oral, was rich and diverse. Epics, legends, and folk tales were passed down through generations, preserving the history, values, and beliefs of the society. The use of the Baybayin script also suggests the existence of written literature, although few examples have survived to the present day. The architecture of pre-colonial Manila was well suited to the tropical climate and the needs of the society. Houses were typically built on stilts, providing protection from floods and allowing for better air circulation. The materials used were primarily wood and bamboo, with nipa palm leaves used for roofing. These structures were designed to be easily repaired or rebuilt in case of damage from natural disasters. More substantial structures were built for the ruling class and for religious purposes. The Islamic influence is evident in the construction of mosques, although these would have incorporated local architectural elements as well. The political structure of pre-colonial Manila was complex and sophisticated. The barangay system formed the basic unit of governance. Each barangay was led by a datu who held both political and economic power. The position of datu was typically hereditary, but a datu's authority was not absolute. They were expected to rule with the consent of their people and could be removed if they failed to meet their responsibilities. Larger polities like Tondo and Manila were formed through alliances between barangays. These polities were led by paramount rulers who held titles such as Lakin or Raja. The political landscape was dynamic, with alliances forming and breaking based on various factors, including kinship ties, economic interests, and military strength. The legal system in pre-colonial Manila was based on customary law. Disputes were typically settled through negotiation and mediation, with the datu or a council of elders serving as arbitrators. More serious offenses were punished through fines, enslavement, or in extreme cases, execution. The Laguna copperplate inscription provides evidence of a sophisticated legal system that included concepts such as debt forgiveness and the precise recording of financial transactions. This suggests a society with well-developed notions of justice and economic rights. As we approach the mid-13th century, we see a significant shift in the political landscape of pre-colonial Manila with the rise of Manila as a Muslim principality. According to historical accounts, around 1258 CE, Raja Ahmad of Brunei defeated Raja Avirjaya, a Majapahit suzerain, and established Manila. This event marked Manila's integration into broader Islamic networks that extended across Southeast Asia through trade routes connecting Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, and beyond. The strategic location of Manila along Manila Bay made it an ideal center for commerce during this period. Under Muslim leadership, coastal settlements like Tondo continued to thrive. Trade expanded beyond Southeast Asia to include merchants from China who brought porcelain goods and Arab traders who introduced Islamic cultural elements. This period saw an increase in the complexity of Manila's social and political structures, as well as a diversification of its economic activities. The rise of Manila as a Muslim principality did not mean a complete abandonment of earlier traditions. Instead, it led to a syncretic culture that blended indigenous beliefs and practices with Islamic influences. This cultural synthesis would continue to characterize Manila's society until the arrival of the Spanish in the 16th century. Now, let's turn our attention to the influence of neighboring kingdoms on pre-colonial Manila, particularly the Srivijaya and Majapahit empires. These powerful maritime states played a significant role in shaping the cultural and economic landscape of Southeast Asia, including the Philippines. The Srivijaya Empire was a Buddhist maritime power based in Sumatra. While its direct influence on Manila may have been limited compared to other regions like Palawan or Mindoro, Srivijaya's extensive trading networks facilitated the indirect introduction of Indian cultural elements to Tagalog communities. Srivijaya's influence can be seen in several aspects of pre-colonial Manila's culture. Trade. Srivijaya's extensive trading networks included the Philippines. Through these trade connections, new goods, technologies, and ideas were introduced to Manila, influencing the development of local culture. Religion. Srivijaya played a significant role in the spread of Buddhism in Southeast Asia. While the direct impact on Manila may have been limited, the exposure to Buddhist ideas and practices through trade contacts likely influenced local religious beliefs and practices. Language. The ancient Malay language, which was spoken in Srivijaya, is believed to have had an influence on the development of many Southeast Asian languages, including Tagalog. This linguistic influence can be seen in loan words and certain grammatical structures. Political organization. Srivijaya's sophisticated political and administrative systems may have served as models for political structures in Manila and other parts of the Philippines. The Majapahit Empire, based in Java, had an even more significant impact on pre-colonial Manila. Majapahit was a Hindu-Buddhist thalassocracy that exerted considerable influence across maritime Southeast Asia. The influence of Majapahit on pre-colonial Manila can be observed in several areas. Political ties: Manila or Main Isla was listed as a vassal state or tributary of Majapahit. This relationship underscored Manila's integration into broader regional networks. Cultural exchange: Majapahit introduced modified Hindu-Buddhist traditions to the Philippines through trade networks. This influence can be seen in linguistic elements, artistic styles, and governance practices adopted by Tagalog polities like Tondo and Namayan. Trade and economy: Majapahit's extensive maritime trade network further integrated Manila into the broader Southeast Asian economic sphere. This led to an increase in the variety of goods available in Manila and stimulated local production of export commodities. Religious practices: while Islam was becoming increasingly influential in Manila by the time of Majapahit's prominence, elements of Hindu-Buddhist practices introduced through Majapahit's influence may have been incorporated into local religious syncretism. Artistic influences: Majapahit's sophisticated artistic traditions, particularly in architecture and sculpture, may have influenced the development of local art forms in pre-colonial Manila. It's important to note that while Srivijaya and Majapahit had significant influences on pre-colonial Manila, these influences were not simply imposed or adopted wholesale. Instead, the people of Manila selectively adapted and integrated elements of these foreign cultures into their existing traditions, creating a unique synthesis that reflected their own values and needs. This process of cultural adaptation and integration demonstrates the dynamism and resilience of pre-colonial Manila's society. It shows how the region was able to engage with broader regional networks and influences while maintaining its distinct local identity. As we approach the end of our exploration of pre-colonial Manila, it's worth reflecting on the legacy of this period and its relevance to modern Philippines. The cultural diversity, economic dynamism, and political sophistication of pre-colonial Manila laid the foundation for the vibrant metropolis we know today. The maritime traditions of the pre-colonial era contributed to the Philippines' strong seafaring culture, which continues to this day, with Filipino sailors being highly sought after in the global maritime industry. The trading networks established during this period paved the way for Manila's future as a major international port. The complex social structures and governance systems of pre-colonial Manila demonstrate that the Philippines had well-developed political institutions long before the arrival of colonial powers. This challenges the notion that Western colonization brought civilization to the archipelago and highlights the need for a more nuanced understanding of Philippine history. The religious syncretism that characterized pre-colonial Manila, where indigenous beliefs coexisted with imported religions, is reflected in the unique form of Catholicism practiced in the Philippines today. This ability to adapt and incorporate diverse cultural elements remains a defining characteristic of Filipino culture. The artistic traditions of pre-colonial Manila, from music and dance to visual arts and literature, continue to influence contemporary Filipino art. Many modern Filipino artists draw inspiration from pre-colonial motifs and themes, creating a bridge between the ancient and the modern. The environmental wisdom embedded in pre-colonial practices, such as sustainable agriculture and the use of locally available, renewable building materials, offers valuable lessons for addressing modern environmental challenges. As we conclude our exploration of pre-colonial Manila, we're left with a profound appreciation for the richness and complexity of this early civilization. Far from being a primitive society waiting to be civilized, pre-colonial Manila was a sophisticated, cosmopolitan settlement that played a significant role in regional trade and cultural exchange. The story of pre-colonial Manila reminds us of the importance of looking beyond Eurocentric historical narratives. It challenges us to recognize and celebrate the diverse histories and cultural achievements of societies around the world. As we reflect on this fascinating period of history, we re-left with intriguing questions. How might the Philippines have developed if it had not been colonized? What aspects of pre-colonial culture and governance could offer solutions to modern challenges? How can we better integrate pre-colonial history into our understanding of Philippine identity? We invite you to share your thoughts on these questions in the comments below. Your insights and perspectives contribute to our ongoing exploration of history and help us build a more comprehensive understanding of our shared past. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. Don't forget to like this video if you found it enlightening, share it with others who appreciate historical deep dives, and subscribe to Breaking Bulletin for more stories that uncover the rich tapestry of our global heritage. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning from the echoes of history. His is Breaking Bulletin, bringing you the world's stories, one report at a time.